Sourkidsproductions.
What's going on, folks? Welcome into another episode of the Final Drive podcast here at Sourkidsproductions. It is Alec. It is Makai. No Dre and Jay, but do not worry. We will carry on the tradition of angrily yelling at each other about DC and Marvel at the end of the show. But they are well. They'll be here next week, so nothing to worry about. But we have Makai back, which is always a pleasant surprise. So, Makai, before we get into all this NFL news, NBA news, and whatnot, how have you been, dude?
Oh, life's good.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, but life's good. It's just hard watching Dallas Cowboys training camp because they keep pushing this narrative that Anthony Brown's a competent cornerback. So
And they're a good team.
It hurts. It hurts to be a Cowboys fan.
Hey, it's okay. That's why you're a fan. You have like 3 different teams you can bounce to.
Yeah.
You got the Cardinals, you got the Panthers, and then you have the Eagles.
Yeah.
You can bounce around to whoever you want to. Just not Cleveland, right?
No, we don't stay in Cleveland anymore.
No, we don't bounce. We don't bounce to the Browns. So, let's get right to it, buddy. Obviously, the NFL kicked off last week with the Hall of Fame game, Raiders Jaguars. The game itself,
Terrible.
It's how we expected the Hall of Fame game to go. It's cool to see football's back, but at the same time, we know no Devontae Adams, no Trevor Lawrence, none of the starters played except Josh Jacobs. Oddly played a lot of snaps for.
Man, they're making them earn that money
for a guy who's supposed to be your start running back. But also, I mean, it was 2 new coaches, Josh McDaniels, who apparently is like a Canton hero. I never really knew that.
Yeah, apparently.
He's a hometown kid from Canton and played high school ball down there and everything. His dad was a coach down there for the high school legend, apparently. Never knew that about McDaniels. So that was cool to see that side of him out there.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson, former Eagles coaching the Jaguars, now after what really could be described as a roller coaster with Urban Meyer the year before. So that was fun to see. Football is back. Preseason starts tonight, actually. So excited about that. But what I want to get into first with you is the Hall of Fame, because I think obviously, and look, the Hall of Fame, these guys, this class, they deserve to get in 100%. No questions about that. Obviously, the word would be lackluster. No real star to like, that's the guy for this Hall of Fame class, So very lackluster. The speeches were cool as always, but and obviously people thought that guys like DeMarcus Ware, Devin Hester, potentially a Jared Allen or a Reggie Wayne could have snuck into the Hall of Fame to add some star power to this, but we didn't get that.
Yeah.
So it's fine. But what I want to throw it to you are the names of the guys who are eligible in 2023. Because these are players that we have watched playing growing up.
Yes.
So these are our guys. So when 30 years from now, when our kids ask us who are these guys, and we're gonna go, hey, those are some studs.
These were the guys.
These are the guys. That was our Sonny Jurgensen right there. Nor Van Brock right there. In the black and white leather helmets. But it's an interesting group. So Cam Chancellor, safety for the Seahawks. A key member, almost kind of like Tony Baselli in the sense of great career, just wasn't long enough, right?
Yeah.
Like, had you played longer, I think he easily could have been a Hall of Famer.
Changed the game for safeties.
Yeah. Jari Evans for the Saints, longtime lineman.
Yeah.
Multiple Pro Bowls, multiple All-Pro, Super Bowl champion. Matt Forte of the Bears. The Hall of Very Good, I think.
I love Matt Forte. I think me and you, like, one of the things that we kind of bonded on, like, becoming friends was, like, our love for Matt Forte. Because a lot of people...
He was underrated.
He slandered a lot just because he was, like...
He was underrated.
People are like, oh, he can't run him between the tackles. But his ability to, like, have 1,000 on the ground, 1,000 receiving is, like...
In today's NFL, that's you need that from a back almost.
He was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
If he was in the league today, I think he would be one of those guys that, like, man...
He was nasty at Tulane.
Oh, yeah,
he was nasty at Tulane. Yeah. But when you have Jay Cutler a quarterback.
Whoa. Jay Cutler was a competent quarterback.
He was.
Was his ego there?
Or his work ethic?
Yeah, worth ethic.
Questionable.
That boy can spin it though, regardless.
Ultimate definition of no practice, just game day.
Oh yeah,
Game day, Jay.
Yeah. Game day.
Dwight Freeney.
Love Dwight Freeney.
Obviously, I think he has the rings, he has the sacks. His spin move, I think, is kind of something people always talk about when it comes to Dwight Freeney.
It's nasty.
It's a guy who should get in.
Mm-hmm.
James Harrison.
I don't. It's hard with James Harrison because it's like he was good, but it's like first ballot Hall of Famer good.
It's like at that point I have to look at James Harrison and DeMarcus Ware because both of them are outside linebackers. Both of them played same era pretty much, and likely one would get in next year, right?
Please God, let it be DeMarcus Ware.
It would be DeMarcus Ware.
I hope so.
It would be. It should be.
If he gets moved another year down, I'm gonna be pissed.
It would be him before James Harrison, I'd imagine. Chris Johnson would be eligible.
Got to be first ballot.
No way. You're not putting.
How would he not be a first ballot?
Because, I mean, Chris Johnson, he was a guy who was his prime long enough, do you think? Like, how many years could you sit down and tell me Chris Johnson was, without a doubt, the best back in the NFL? 1, maybe 2 years?
But still, those 2 years of dominance, though.
I know he had the 2,000-yard season,
Yeah.
and at the time, that had never been done before.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I could easily be wrong. But it hadn't been done in a long time up until then, if that's the case.
Well, I mean, everybody's chasing Emmett. So Emmett had the 2,000 was like 29 yards. So AP did it the year he tore it came back off the ACL in 20.
Eric Dickerson did it.
Dickerson did it?
Dickerson was the guy AP was chasing.
Oh, yeah,
Dickerson. Yeah.
So, and AP in 2012. So, and then CJ did it in
08?
Okay.
So, I mean, it's like Matt Forte. Like, can I sit there and tell you, was Matt Forte, because I think that's one of the criteria. You got to be the best at your position for your time period. Yeah. And were Matt Forte and Chris Johnson the best at their time?
When you put it like that, and then when we really think about it, I think he's a Hall of Famer, but not first ballot.
Yeah. Both of them are. Yeah. For sure. Carson Palmer.
Oh, Jesus. Please no.
No, I mean, probably not.
No, not a first ballot, but he'll get in just because.
I've always been a fan of Carson Palmer.
I've always been a hater of Carson Palmer.
Had he not torn that ACL in 05, I think his career could have been very, very differently.
Fooey.
Darrelle Revis. He's got to be a first ballot.
The end of that career, though. The whole swap back to Mariota.
It's crazy. That was his last game, wasn't it?
Yep.
That was his last game in the NFL.
I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
But look, no, Darrell's going to get in. He is arguably, at least in our younger eyes, he's been the best shutdown corner we've ever seen play football on TV.
When they push a narrative that when they play you that he's putting people on Revis Island.
You were on island.
That means you different.
You were starving. You were not going to get rescued.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and people in his legendary 09 season where he shut down Randy Moss twice, T.O. twice, Andre Johnson, Steve Smith, Marcus Colston, Rodney White. So many dudes he clamped up in that year alone.
Anybody that was relevant was getting shut down.
Yeah. If you were the focal point of that offense, you were going to get locked down.
Yeah, you were having 2 touches that day.
And I mean, he has a ring with the Patriots. Mm-hmm. And again, I just think arguably he is the most shutdown corner we've ever seen. And he's going to get in, no question.
Okay. First ballot.
And the last guy I do believe will get in first ballot, Joe Thomas.
I mean,
from Cleveland.
Man, I mean, when you talk about an Iron Man in football, Joe Thomas is the guy that should pop up in the dictionary when you look that up. So, I mean, it's not even just like not missing games. Like, dude just was great. Like, you were not beating Joe Thomas.
And it's like, we could always speak about how bad the Browns were at quarterback for all those years.
They had Joe Thomas,
but damn it, they had a left tackle. They had a man who could protect the quarterback.
Man, the Browns really wasted Joe Thomas.
They did. But hey, he was loyal to the soil.
He's loyal to the soil.
Loyal to the soil. He did not care about winning.
He was getting paid though, so I mean, at the end of the day, he wasn't playing for free. Let's not talk like he was.
Yeah, true. He was getting paid, and he said, "You know what? At the end of the day, I'm gonna be up there in Canton. That's all that will matter."
Mm-hmm. I respect it.
So Joe Thomas, I think out of this list of guys, I think it's going to be Joe. I think potentially, because I do think DeMarcus Ware. I think Devin Hester.
Hope
Devin Hester. I think Ware will get in. I hope Hester. I think Rivas is a lock for this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Joe Thomas is a lock for this year. I'll start with the newcomers go. Dwight should be a lock.
Hopefully.
And another guy I'll look at, maybe Jari Evans.
I would say.
And I think the point with Evans would be, for all of his time in New Orleans, being a right guard was almost like being a left tackle in the sense that Breeze was a shorter quarterback. You didn't need the edge. You needed the interior protected.
Yeah.
To get those linemen from swatting the ball, and because the height advantage was there.
Oh, yeah.
So you could argue that might have been more important to a quarterback like Breeze than a left tackle, if that makes sense.
Oh, 100%. I think it's something that people take for granted. Like, a lot of people think you can kind of discount the guard center.
It's important.
But that sets the depth of the pocket. And, like, the thing that can kill a pass play quicker than anything is guys penetrating the middle.
Bull rushing, yep.
Because you get a 6'5" guy screaming at your ass off the gut. That play's dead as hell.
No, for sure. And I mean, it's gonna be interesting. And again, I feel like this year just lacked that guy to headline the group, So I'm hoping they get it right. DeMarcus Ware should get in. Devin Hester, and we talked about this before we started, but we made a case for Devin Hester.
He changed the game.
He changed the game simply. And you could sit there and say he's a special teamer, it doesn't matter. Well, no, Devin Hester is the reason why the 2010s teams looked at guys to return punts strictly as a returner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like as a return specialist, that they made that a whole position. So, I mean, he should get in.
Because, I mean, like, when you think about it, like, outside of, like, a Devin Hester, a Josh Cribbs, I'm trying to think who else is, like, known as, like, a great returner.
Dante Hall,
Trenton Holiday when he popped off that one year with the Broncos. Like,
Sproles.
Yeah, Sproles. Sproles for his career, yeah. You looked at those guys and were like, damn, we can't punt at them. You can't. Like, we gotta kick it out of bounds. Because if we give them a chance during the game, they might house it.
I mean, also, that's a field position thing, too. Like,
100%.
That could change things instantly for an offense. They punt the ball from their own 30, and next thing you know, your return takes it up, inside their 20. You're right there in the red zone, first play. So, I mean, it just feels right to have Devin Hester in the Hall of Fame. Because, you can look at all the returners and go, no. If you're going to have one, it's got to be Devin Hester.
I mean, I think he's probably the face of returners for this generation.
Yeah,
like, easily. I mean, he did it. He did it throughout his career, and he did it in the most impactful ways. As far as like lights are the brightest, he showed up.
Super Bowl.
Yep.
I mean,
there's no brighter lights than that.
I mean, they told Tony Dunn, they told Vinatieri, like, hey, do not kick the ball to Devin Hester in the and first opening kickoff. Houses it.
And that damn Italian said, you know what? I don't care.
And the Bears could have won it had they not had Rex Grossman, but it's a different day.
Oh, Rexy.
Different day, different top. But I do think, and then DeMarcus Ware, really quick, I think that's a guy who should have got in last year.
Oh, without a doubt.
I think that's a guy who dominated the 2010s as one of the best pass rushers. And as you had mentioned before we started, kind of changed the face of the whole 3-4 outside linebacker in that system.
Oh, yeah. I mean, before him and Dwight Freeney, you looked at guys as like, I want my edge rusher to be 6'4". I want to have long arms.
Lawrence Taylor-like.
Yeah, Lawrence Taylor-esque.
Yeah.
But it's just like those guys came along and like they're not the tallest, they're not the strongest, but they have technique. Like the biggest thing is they have to. Dwight, obviously Dwight wasn't fast. DeMarcus could kill you with his speed. It changed the way you had to look at. You had to look at guys actually having technique and not just having the physique anymore. Like you actually had to watch film and like you didn't care about combine numbers anymore.
And also people questioned the pick when he came out of Troy.
Yeah,
strictly because he was undersized and they didn't think he was kind of raw coming out of Troy too.
Yeah, but
he proved everyone wrong and went on and did what he did.
If only he would have had a pass rush on the other side.
Yeah. He had Anthony Spencer for.
Whoa. We don't talk about schmucks.
Yeah, he had Anthony Spencer for 1 year.
Oh, my God.
They drafted Bobby Carpenter from. No, the Cowboys really stunk outside of DeMarcus Ware as far as drafting.
Damn it, Jerry. Wasting talent.
Until, they got it right at the end of the Romo era, I guess. But
too little, too late.
It's going to be crazy when he's up for. That's going to spark a whole debate across the NFL.
He better get in, bro. I don't care what nobody says.
I think he is.
Romo's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I think he's a Hall of Famer.
He aged like fine wine, man.
I think he should be a Hall of Famer.
How you put together MVP-esque season at 36 with that offensive line when it was finally building into something? Like, it had one real receiver to throw to.
Who only did one thing.
But he did that one thing very well.
He did it. He did.
He did it the best.
He
did. 2.5 years.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. The Hall of Fame's always. The NFL kills it because they always make it a spectacle.
Yeah.
Like, I could sit here and probably, if I had the numbers for the enshrinement ceremony, I'm sure it would be like one of the top 20 things watched by the end of the year. And, half that list of 20 is going to be all NFL stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's special because it's like the guys that are going in, they're generation-defining athletes. Not just athletes, but just people, because it's like some of these guys change the way you thought of athletes. So it's like it's a big deal. So I'm glad that the NFL cares to, like, really put it out there, market for it, because it's like they don't really do much for the NBA. I would say NFL, NBA, and then baseball's at the very bottom. Cooperstown is bad. It's a bad experience. It's like a damn shack when you walk in there. It's
Cooperstown.
It's bad.
It's like 95% Babe Ruth, and then
it's like other guys,
everyone else. and also with basketball, it's kind of different because it's like the Basketball Hall of Fame, so it's college and the NBA put together.
Yeah, it's everything.
It's everything. To whereas and I mean, and what you said, to your point, what you just said, the NFL just markets it so much better. Mm-hmm. Like they make it a whole event. You have to go watch it. You want to watch the 15-minute speeches about these guys and where they came from, the hardships they went through, and how they overcame adversity. Mm-hmm. And I feel like with basketball and baseball, I can't even tell you what time I've seen a baseball Hall of Fame commercial.
Well, baseball commercials in general are very rare. They do not market. Like, I'm serious. Like, you could take 10 random Americans off the street, put them in an elevator, and have Mike Trout, the best player of this generation, walk into there. And you go, hey, who's this guy? You look like a Pizza Hut delivery driver.
Or you know what? I'll do you one better. I think I could take 10 random like non-sports fans. I could say, okay, where is the Pro Football Hall of Fame at? Where is the Basketball Hall of Fame at? Where is the Baseball Hall of Fame at? They could probably tell me. I can bet you half of them would tell me that they know Canton, Ohio is where the Pro Football Hall of Fame is. They couldn't tell you where the Basketball or the Baseball Hall of Fame is at.
Okay. If you take average fans,
average, yeah.
But it's like, I mean, I think Cooperstown kind of rolls off the tongue kind of easy. It's cool, but it's like at the same time they don't market it very well. So it's.
Do you know where the Basketball Hall of Fame is at?
I know what it's called, but I forget what city it's in. I forget, honestly. And I'm a huge basketball fan.
I don't know.
It's just, I mean, I watch it every year. I mean, obviously, but I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's not marketed.
It's just not as iconic as like Canton, Ohio. Like,
that in Canton, Ohio, it's more reachable for everybody because it's in Middle America. Those other Hall of Fames are East Coast. Let me look up the Basketball Hall of Fame.
I got a fact. You said East Coast real confident, and then you went. Let me fact check myself real quick.
I swear I know this.
Which one are you looking up? I'll look up the other.
It's in Springfield, Massachusetts. It's the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame.
Massachusetts. See, I would have never guessed that.
I didn't know there was a Springfield, Massachusetts. The more you know. Just learned some today. And they're closed today.
That's good to know.
These hours are awful. 10 a.m. to 4:30.
What? No.
Damn.
No way. No shot. Really?
They're every day.
Their hours are from 10:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon.
Damn, let me get a job there.
You know what? You know what's real funny about that? I'm not going to lie to you.
What's that?
So when me and my dad went last year to the Hall of Fame to watch Jimmy get enshrined.
Mm-hmm.
So 10:30 to 4:30, that's like what? 6 hours?
Or 6.5.
6.5. It's real funny because I could probably tell you right now. Probably to do everything in the Hall of Fame when we were down there, probably takes longer than the entirety of the Basketball Hall of Fame being opened.
I would say, yeah, like if you actually like stop, look.
We did it, yeah. We stopped and looked at everything, yeah.
Like, the football, you can low-key get lost in the Football Hall of Fame.
You can.
It's fun. It's a fun experience. Really interactive. I love the tour was amazing. Yeah, I mean,
it's so fun.
That's pretty sad though for the NBA and.
Hey, it's the NFL and everyone else is catching up.
Yeah.
But hey, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the class come Super Bowl Eve next year. But let's get into Cleveland. Obviously, we weren't here last week to discuss this. Mm-hmm. But the Browns had announced that Deshaun Watson was suspended for 6 games by the independent arbiter from the NFL.
Yep. The
NFL had 3 days to appeal. On the second day they appealed, Roger Goodell found his guy who has worked with the NFL before. They will not get into it. And this is for now 7 games and up.
Yeah.
Like 6 is the baseline. That's the minimum. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now this is for 7 and on. Deshaun Watson, obviously, we know how the story has been told. We know how it goes. Mm-hmm. What were just some of your thoughts on all of this as it's happened?
I just thought it was interesting that, like, you know, because I think they came out and they said that they had like 10 presented to them, like case to case.
I think it was 5. I thought it was 5 that they showed her.
Either way, they were presented with
It wasn't the entire. It wasn't the entire thing. Yeah,
it was a fraction of actually what was presented criminally.
Mm-hmm.
And then out of that, they only like used 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like, because they did the interviews and things, but they didn't talk to everybody surrounding the case. It was just like the victim, and then they discredited some of the victims. It was a really messy process, and then they came to the conclusion that 6 games was enough.
And then what I found really weird was the judge had come out and said that she believes there was some non-violent sexual misconduct,
but nothing
criminally
physical.
But which, to me, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
I mean, there is a difference between a non-violent and a violent sexual crime. There is a difference when you look at it not judicially, but just, you know, in a criminally from that standpoint. There's a big difference between those two things. But at the same time, he did, like, clearly they found he did something wrong.
Yeah.
But they were just like, you know, 6 games is enough. And then a lot of people outside were looking at, like, well, he didn't play last year. It had nothing to do with that.
That was all about him being pissed off at the Texans
and not wanting to play for them.
Yeah,
that was 100% his choice.
And then all this came out,
and then all that subsequently happened.
Yeah. So, to me, I feel like 6 games is just not enough.
It's not enough for a guy that had all these cases. I mean, I don't even care if half of them were only right. Like, it's a bad look for the NFL when they're pushing for female head coaches, female referees, female fans to be attracted to the sport. Like, you can't have the face of a franchise guy do these type of things. Like, you can't, because 6 games make it sound like the NFL's like, you know what, he did something wrong, but slap a Band-Aid on it, and he's still getting paid for those 6 games too. Like, from what the court came out and said.
Yep.
Like, Calvin Ridley's missing $11 million because he bet $1,500
because he gambled on his own team to win.
And he wasn't playing in the games.
And it's just, I don't know. I mean, like you said, I think all around, had the NFL not appealed, this would have been a horrible look.
Oh, the media would have.
Hell would have broken loose had the NFL not appealed. And now it's come out that the NFL is pushing for an indefinite suspension of at least 1 season being the minimum, as well as fines. Because that was the other the big thing too. It was 6 games, no fines whatsoever, so that he gets to keep all the money.
All that money.
All of it fully guaranteed, Cleveland. Thanks.
God.
But I mean, we'll see what happens. And then, of course, the report came out today as we're recording that the Browns possibly might be interested in trading for Jimmy Garoppolo if Deshaun Watson is indeed out for more than 6 games. We discussed this on the car ride in here. I mean, if I'm the Browns, who I've already given up money and draft capital to the Texans for Deshaun Watson,
yeah,
why would I go out there and give up more picks and take up more money for Jimmy Garoppolo, who in my opinion, is in that same tier of quarterback play as Jacoby Brissett. Like, I think I can get the same amount of wins out of both of them. It doesn't move the get to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. If I already have Jacoby, it doesn't move the needle for me. I don't need to do that.
I think in their minds, they want the name and the face of Jimmy Garoppolo for this year, just because of like Jimmy's played in the Super Bowl, and like that's still the aspirations of this team with or without Deshaun Watson. Like they think this roster's still contender ready. I don't feel like it is personally. That receiver room you're relying a lot on really young guys to step up instantly and make a difference, but. I mean, they have so much invested in this team, period. I mean, I understand still wanting to push for that, but it's like you said, I don't think Jacoby Brissett's as bad as people think he is.
Neither do I. And again, I think if you're asking me because here's the thing about the Browns also, Jimmy Garoppolo is not going anywhere right now.
Nope.
He's not going to get traded. It's going to take somebody getting hurt for Garoppolo to get moved. And at that point, the Niners they have most of the leverage in that the team needs Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
So they can ask whatever the hell they want for Jimmy Garoppolo, no matter how unfair it might be, you know? But then again, if you're Cleveland, you have all this money to Deshaun Watson. You're paying, a chunk of Baker's salary this year?
Yeah.
Because you had to buy out his contract, a part of it, to get him traded.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jimmy Garoppolo's last year is, $20+ million?
Yeah.
So you take that on, too?
It's a lot of money.
Invested in a position where
two guys that aren't going to play.
Two guys aren't going to play.
That's just play Jacoby. Jacoby will be fine. He fits right perfectly into that management QB role of what Kevin Stefanski was running before Deshaun Watson. It'll be fine. They'll be fine.
And again, I just feel like in a stacked AFC, as stacked as it is right now, does Jimmy Garoppolo make the Browns like that? Does it move you ahead the pack that much?
No, you might as well just keep what draft capital you have and
save the money on and play Jacoby.
Yeah,
he started a whole season. He started a whole season.
Yeah,
for the Colts, and they went. Well, I want to say 7-9, 6-10.
They were competitive.
Yeah, it was a respectable record.
Yeah, and that's when the Colts were bad too overall as a team. He was just they brought him in, and
also that was the year Andrew Luck retired right before.
Yeah, so there was a lot around the facility and just the fan base of like, ooh, Andrew Luck's gone. Ooh.
Yeah, so,
I mean, he weathered the storm.
Jacoby can get, especially, and I'm not saying it will or I believe it, but especially if Deshaun is going to come back at some point this season.
Yeah,
then thank God I'm not a Browns fan, but if I were a Browns fan, I'm okay with riding it out with Jacoby until Deshaun comes back.
I mean, he's shown me enough in those games where he has started and on other teams that like he can weather the storm and get you to 500.
Right.
And if not, he can swing a couple of those losses and make them W's because he's not going to do enough to lose you a game.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he's not going to be able to win you a game with his arm. It's one of those things with him. He's not great, but he's not bad.
Yeah. So obviously, we'll see what happens with Deshaun Watson, and it's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, it's going to be a whole thing this season, no matter what, and going forward. So, best of luck to Cleveland and how that gets handled.
Yep.
Some news that also came out today: the 5-time Pro Bowler Dwayne Brown, longtime Texans tackle with the Seahawks last couple of years, is signing a 2-year deal worth $22 million with the Jets. This, of course, coming after the Jets announced they lost Mekhi Becton for the season. So for Becton, it's back-to-back season-ending injuries. Sucks because I think, he's a big dude. He was a mauler in his rookie year when he was healthy.
Yep.
And, I kind of thought there are ramblings of him being shipped in the offseason.
Yeah.
And I wanted to trade for him. I wanted to buy in on Mekhi Becton, but we didn't. Nobody did, and he was moved to right tackle just before all this, and now done for the year. It was like a freak kneecap injury.
Yeah, I think it was something like from reports I heard. It was like there was like a double team block with like him and a tight end, and I think somebody came in and kind of like pushed and fell into his knee or something. It's one of those things you got to be very careful with offensive linemen.
Yeah, especially a guy that size.
Yeah, especially a guy like the guy the force, the speed he moves at, like he's a unicorn, and you got to be careful because your lower extremities as an offensive lineman is everything. That's your livelihood there because you don't use them like to physically block somebody, but without them you can't move.
Right.
So that's huge. I didn't know the figures that came out for the Dwayne Brown. Like, damn, that's a lot of money for a 40-year-old. Like, damn. And I don't know. The Jets just make my head hurt. I didn't understand the whole narrative of like not liking Mekhi Becton. Like, well, his work ethic isn't great. Like, he didn't have a lot to be motivated about. The Jets stink. I mean, he didn't really go into a great situation, and then they weren't using him right offensively. He could be a Trent Williams. I really feel like he has the tools physically to be that. I just think the leadership of the Jets offensively has just been bad.
It's a young team. It's a young team going through the rebuild with Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
So, was he a Gase pick?
He was.
He was, right?
Because he was 20. He was 20. 28. No, he wasn't 20. He's 2019, right?
I got you. Hold up.
He had to have been.
I got you.
Because I remember he followed me on Twitter my senior year of high school, which is really cool.
2020.
That's 2020. Okay.
So that was the last year of Gase, right?
Yes, that was last year of Gase.
Because last year was 21. That was Saleh's first year. Yeah.
Rookie.
So the last of the Gase regime, which, I mean, and the thing with that is, obviously when you're a new head coach, you come in, you're not obligated to, keep or, make players of the old regime that you didn't draft feel happier. You know what I mean? Or you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, I mean, you might have a
different viewpoint of how you want to address this position.
Yeah, you have a completely different ideology on, especially him being, Saleh being a defensive head coach. I mean, like, I'm sure the guys he brought in the offensive staff, he just kind of heard reports like, man, this guy's kind of he's not it. But he is it. He is it, but he's just, I don't think he's in the right situation. If I was I would have moved him. Maybe he doesn't get hurt. But, I mean, that's all red. It's all, in hindsight, everything's 2020. Yeah. So, it just sucks. Hate to see it for him. Because he only got to play like 2 games last year, and he messed up his knee again. It's just, you got to be careful, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I love Mekhi Becton since he came out of Louisville.
Dog.
I mean, like you said, with the size, the speed he possesses, it does scream Trent Williams to you. Just because Trent Williams is almost the exact same way. Mm-hmm. But it is what it is.
R.I.P. Zach Wilson and that blind side. That 40-year-old ain't going to protect you like Mekhi Becton was about to.
And also in other news of... I don't know where I was going to go with that. I was going to say 2020 draft picks, but then I quickly realized Roquan Smith was not in the class of 2020. 2018, he has now requested a trade from the Chicago Bears. He was a 2-time second-team All-Pro. Obviously, this has a lot to do with his contract because he put together a stellar year last year. Now he's unhappy. The Bears recently took him off the PUP list. So he can practice in training camp. We'll just see if and when he does. But what do you think of some logical spots for Roquan Smith if he were to get shipped?
I first want to say, like, kudos to him for understanding his worth and not want to play for less. Because, I mean, playing linebacker, it's a super physical position, super demanding. The Bears really haven't done a great job of, like, moving on from the Khalil Mack era and, like, gracefully making Roquan the face of the defense. So, and then they come in and apparently they were lowballing the hell out of him, which is crazy because he, like you said, he's played at a super high level since getting drafted out of Georgia in that first round. Realistically, it's hard to find a good spot for him because this comes at a really inconvenient time. I mean,
in training camp, yeah.
I mean, the season is literally, we're on the cusp of it. You can damn near taste football. It's right there, and especially being on defense, like a big thing on defense is cohesion and like putting the time in and the hours to really like build chemistry with guys. So this would be an awkward time to bring in a guy that's going to be the face, quote unquote face of your defense. So when you look for a place for him, you would think like plug and play, maybe like Broncos, but Broncos money's going to be the problem. They're financially strapped because you're going to have to pay Jerry Jeudy soon. Javonte Williams soon. Defensively, they already paid Chubb, right? Chubb's already paid.
Mm-hmm. Surtain
soon. That's a lot of guys that got to get paid, and then
I was thinking the Raiders.
What about their money situation?
They'll be all right.
They'll
make it work.
No.
They'll make it work.
Oh, who was it? Who was it that my friend John told me about that like blew my mind? Darn it. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Come on, John.
I would say a fun team could be Pittsburgh.
I mean, apparently from what I've been hearing out of camp, I mean, Devin Bush has been very unimpressive.
Yeah. Well, because they brought in Miles Jack too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing with Devin Bush is like he was great his rookie year.
Then he got hurt.
And then the second year he got hurt and he messed up his knee.
Yeah.
Tore his ACL, and like his big thing was explosion, like because I think he ran a 40, like it was sub 4.5, and it was super impressive because I mean I didn't think he was that fast in Michigan. He's not really the best cover linebacker in space because he's small and he's not very instinctive. He's kind of like a see ball hit ball kind of guy, and he just doesn't trust his knee. When you're watching the film after the ACL, like he stutters, he hesitates. You can't do that at linebacker. Everything is super quick and sudden. I mean, I like the Steelers. I just really like the Broncos. I like what they're building, but it's just like the money is going to be tough.
Because look at their cap situation. I got you.
You think about coming off the edge. You got Chubb coming off the edge. Second round pick Nick Bonito. You got Randy Gregory. You got guys hollering. They haven't had a really good linebacker since what? And I don't even want to say really good because like Danny Trevathan was like a B tier at best linebacker.
Right.
And then
they had Woodyard.
Yeah, Woodyard was cool. Who's the guy now? Was it Alexander Johnson?
Yeah.
Oh, he's okay. I think he's a better pairing with somebody than him being the face of your middle linebacker room. Any other teams? I mean, the Cowboys. I mean, we can throw our hat in there. You never know. We don't like paying people, but
you never know. You never know. They might just change. Let me think.
The Jets.
Arizona.
This brings up a really good point. I was thinking the other day because I was doing a Madden rebuild. Recently got the Xbox. I was just messing around on Madden 22 before 23 comes out in the next week. And I was doing a Cardinals rebuild. And I really thought to myself, man, this Isaiah Simmons guy really hasn't done much for the Cardinals. I mean, I think the biggest thing for him was that at college, he never got to master a position because they played him literally everywhere.
I feel like in the NFL, you got to pick one.
You got to pick one so you can learn things. And because it's one of those things like if you can be a jack of all trades, but you'll never be a master of anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing for him is he's a great athlete. So my mind, kick his ass outside. Let him play outside linebacker. Let him come off the edge. Let him use that athleticism, length. I don't think he's going to be like a 10+ sack guy, but let him do something as opposed to just stand there and be a QB spy. It doesn't make sense. I love Roquan. Roquan sideline to sideline.
Intelligent player too.
Very intelligent. Literally the face of a defense. I think he'll be great anywhere. Anybody can use him, honestly.
Yeah, I kind of feel like as long as you make the money work and you can pay Roquan to make him happy, then he's a fit almost anywhere, I think.
Yeah, he'll kill it for you. He's automatic.
I think just too many teams that you could say right now like a definite spot, but
the only way you take a team out of the running is financially, because a lot of teams are financially strapped as of right now.
Because it's the end of the season,
yeah.
But or end of the off season. But I mean, we'll see what happens with Roquan. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting. So let's talk about our teams. All right, now ours, as in the four of us, Javonte, DeAndre aren't here.
Yeah.
So I'll let you take a. Who do you want? Dolphins? You want Raiders?
I'll take Dolphins.
Rest in peace, DeAndre. Because I know we're gonna go with this. Okay, I'll talk about the Raiders and the Saints. You can talk about the Cowboys and the Dolphins. You want to start or want me to start?
I'll let you start. Talk about your Saints first.
I think the Saints are the team nobody's talking about right now that they need to be talking about as far as a legit playoff contender. Because Ian Rappaport was at the he was at Saints camp covering for NFL Network, went on the McAfee show and said, like, look, if Jameis Winston can just play okay football, this could be a team that can go all the way. Because I think, seriously, the Saints are deep at the positions they need to be deep at. They're deep at wide receiver. They're deep at defensive back. And I think, assuming Alvin Kamara, will see how this whole legal thing plays out, there's a chance he could legit play the entire season with no suspension coming at him this year. I think James Hurst and Trevor Penning battling for the left tackle spot is interesting because Hurst is a solid veteran. I'm more than okay with him playing left tackle. Penning, I know we talked about Trevor Penning a little bit. He's a little
feisty.
He likes the extracurriculars. So, And I mean, and from what I've heard at camp, he's been a good player. It's just after the whistle, there are times where he gets aggressive.
He's doing too much.
And he's and he was kicked out of practice 3 days straight.
Yep.
Because of extracurriculars. And that, in training camp and in practice, you do you. But in the NFL, that's going to cost you 15 yards. Or cost you field position. Or cost you a down.
It's not even talking about getting into games. Like, you're banging on guys that are going to be your teammates.
That is true. That is also a fair point. But I will say this. And, I've been excited about this player in particular. Kenneth, I need you to make this a short. I need this. Oh, okay. Thank you, Kenneth. But Michael Thomas is back. Damn it. Have you seen the videos? The dude is killing it at training camp. He went 4 for 4 in the red zone the other day and during 7-on-7s. Michael Thomas is going to quickly remind people where he was in the NFL before the injury. I'm talking about dudes in his first 4 years in the NFL. There's only one guy who has had 400-plus catches, 5,000-plus yards, and 40-plus touchdowns, whatever the number is. It's Michael Thomas. And, we can sit here and talk about the short passing game with Breeze and, the slants. And that's fair because Breeze's arm is not what it once was towards the end of his career. They had to adjust that for Michael Thomas. But now with Jameis Winston in the fold, I think you can see a lot more of the deep and medium and the intermediate passing game with Michael Thomas. With Chris Olave in the mix, going downfield, taking tops off the defenses, it will allow Mike to have the mismatches in the slot and one-on-ones. And just from what I've seen and what I've seen and heard at camp, Michael Thomas is going to quickly remind people where he was in the NFL before, and I'm quite excited about it. Can't guard Mike. That's his Twitter handle. He's posting rap lyrics daily. The man's on a mission to remind people where he was, and I think I'm excited because Michael Thomas, that's my dude, ride or die right there. And I think we haven't seen him play in 2 years.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Yeah,
since a healthy Michael Thomas, and you're smiling over there because you think this is funny.
No, I mean it's like.
But I'm excited for Michael.
We had a little discussion in our little group chat, and the other day, and it was like talking about the Saints, and like I was like giving my like thoughts on the Saints, and like I want the Saints to be good. Like I don't hate the Saints in any form or fashion. I just think it's a lot to ask Jameis Winston to be decent. Because I just
he was decent last year, but he had no one to help him at the receiver position. He had no help.
And don't get it wrong. Like he was serviceable, and then he unfortunately
he got hurt.
But it's just like it's hard to just bring back guys on the edges that you've been missing. Add a couple free agents here or there and draft picks, and then just expect to go out there and instantly be successful. It's just because now people have another year of film on Jameis Winston and in a Saints uniform under their belt. Now they understand how he's going to play, more or less how the offense is going to be called around him. I just really want to see y'all really invest in the quarterback position with a young guy and like build him up, and then he could be.
But we don't do that.
He can be the Drew Brees.
We've only had Drew Brees for the last 20 years. It's hard. Well, I mean, not hard. Well, it's just. I think in the Saints' eyes, when they signed Jameis Winston after Tampa, right, after the 30 for 30 season,
yeah,
I think Sean Payton and Drew Brees invested in Jameis Winston enough that, they want him to be the guy. And I think deep down, I think I'm rooting for Jameis, right? I'm rooting for Jameis Winston. But do I think is he the franchise quarterback? Probably not. No. Realistically, probably not. But I think, can Jameis play well enough to get this team into a deep playoff run this year? Yes, I think so. I think with the weapons around him, this defense alone is a top 5, top 3 defense in the NFL. And it only got better by adding Marcus May and Tyrann Mathieu at the safety position. You get Peyton Turner back this year, and that's basically another first-round pick. Because he hardly played at all last year because of the injuries. So I think, with this defense and what is now a relatively open NFC, I think you got a shot. As long as Jameis can stay healthy and do enough to not turn it over, I think they got a shot. Because at least you've brought up valid points. The national media wants to sit there and say it's because Sean Payton is gone, that's why they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And I know what Sean Payton meant to this team offensively and as a head coach, but I think this team is going to be just fine because I think for the first time in forever, and I think the problem with Sean Payton wasn't, and it's nothing against Sean Payton, but I think he let the scheme get too big enough to where he didn't believe he needed to upgrade at positions.
Yeah.
Like I think with Drew Brees there, and Drew Brees knows everything about that offense, you were allowed to get weak at some positions and then expect Brees and the system to cover it up.
Yeah, to make up for the lack of actual talent.
Yeah, because I think this is the first time forever I can remember the Saints were aggressive. Because remember, they traded up 10 picks to get Chris Olave.
Yep. They
were aggressive in landing Jarvis Landry in signing him after the draft. And I thought that wasn't going to happen. You know, they're addressing the offense. And from what we've heard at camp, it's a much more different vibe without Sean Payton there. Because with Sean Payton, it was so everything's got to be perfect throughout practices, throughout camp. Yeah. And with Dennis Allen, it's a lot more laid back. And I think players recognize that and they appreciate that. And I think Dennis Allen's going to be a fine coach for us. You know, he got a crap shot job with the Raiders, but that really wasn't on him because that was a bad Raiders team he inherited. But I think with this team, they can go all the way.
I think best case scenario for y'all.
And Michael Thomas is back. Can't guard Mike, people.
NFL Network is so messed up because I remember when he first came back to practice for y'all, and they were like, Michael Thomas is back. First right they show slant.
That's just you do that all the time in warm-up as a wide receiver.
Like, bro, you can't do that when people literally on Twitter slander bro called him slant boy. Like that, no. Make the first video be him running a go or a comeback route or something. No, not a damn slant. But I mean, seriously, full transparent. Like, this is 100% my prediction for the Saints. I think y'all make the wild card. I think Jameis has a.
I think they'll win the division. In all seriousness,
TB12 on a mission.
That offensive line's not on a mission right now.
Julio though.
That don't do anything for me.
Whoa. Y'all should have picked up Julio Jones. Either way, I think I see Jameis in like a 4. I think he throws to 4,000 yards. I could see 29 touchdowns, 14 picks.
That's a good year in my opinion.
That's solid for Jameis Winston. As long as you don't throw 30 of them damn interceptions, we'll be fine. I think the biggest question mark to me is like, what do you do with Trevor Penning? Because I think Trevor Penning has made it very clear he does not plan on changing the way he plays offensive line. Because when you do an interview and they're like, hey, why do you like playing football? I like being able to legally, physically assault people. That should have been like, all right, cut the interview. This guy's mentally unstable. Hell no. Like that's crazy. Legally, physically assaulting people is crazy as hell.
And I think right now, I think he's the better player than James Hurst.
Yeah,
but it's a matter of he's got to calm down on the extracurriculars
because that will literally kill your team.
Yeah, that will cost you games.
Because think about it, a holding penalty in the NFL is what 10, 15? No, 10.
15.
15. False starts are 5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that can. I mean one holding penalty kills a drive more than likely, unless you got Patrick Mahomes in that.
Not to mention if you're engaging in these extra. I mean you can get ejected for it.
Get ejected, get fined, miss games.
Yeah,
the NFL does not play with that because it messes with the brand of football. So if you can get him under control, I think y'all are going to be fine. I really want to see y'all not be the greatest, but then draft a young quarterback because I think this quarterback class is great with guys that are developmental and like a couple of faces of franchises. Like perfect guy for y'all, I think, is Anthony Richardson out of Florida. I love his physique. I love his ability to spin it. I think he's super smart. I think he's not getting utilized right at Florida. So I think the numbers may not be there, but I think he has the tools to be the franchise guy for the Saints and make y'all a dynasty again.
I'd be for that. We'll see what happens. I think ceiling of this team is 12 wins. The basement is 10. This is a 10-win team for sure, though.
We'll see. That's you got to love about football. We'll see.
Let's get to your Cowboys now, then.
Oh, we stink.
I give this whole speech over here about Michael Thomas is back,
optimistic
and I ride and die with Jameis, and you're we stink. It's over.
We stink. Whenever the headline of the Cowboys training camp practices have literally been Noah Brown and Anthony. Anthony Brown, it makes me hurt on the inside. I miss Michael Gallup.
Well, he'll be back.
I need him now. I don't need him week 4, week 5.
You got Jalen Tolbert.
I love Jalen Tolbert, but it's just like
he's a rookie.
And it's just like there's going to be growing pains and
you got Simi Fehoko.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
So the Cam Stud as of late apparently torched Trayvon Diggs.
We need to talk about the whole Trayvon Diggs because we had a really good discussion in the car about it on the way here. People got to stop with this Trayvon Diggs slander, bro. People don't get it that one-on-one drills are that has nothing to do with real football.
It's true
because it's never gonna happen where there is no pass rush, there is no safety help, there is no it's not football. You're not gonna have the time to and go.
Right.
By the time you get done doing all the shaking and jiving, quarterback sacked. Because, Michael Parsons is screaming off the edge. Who's had one of the best camps in the NFL. I want to add. Dude's only getting better, bag getting deeper. But stop the Trayvon Diggs slander. Competent corner. He's not a shutdown guy. He's a great ball hawk. He doesn't have makeup speed. He's gonna give up yards inevitably, and I'm fine with that.
He guesses a lot.
Yeah, he guesses, and he guesses right sometimes. But he does guess wrong. That's the part of guessing. You're gonna get something wrong. But I'm fine with that.
I mean, and I think the problem with that is I think people looked at the stats last year. He was a Pro Bowler. He was a first-team All-Pro, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
He had 11 interceptions, which led the NFL, and I think people instantly, like if they don't watch Cowboy games or watch film enough, like they instantly think, oh, he must be the best corner in football, obviously, if he was a Pro Bowler and an All-Pro and led the league in interceptions. And, I think that's the logic behind it, and that's just one of those things where you have to look deeper behind the stats. Because if you look at his game, like you said, Trayvon Diggs, he's never going to be a dominant physical man coverage corner.
Never that.
And having said that, he'll never be one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL because he won't be. And his game, he's a damn good ball hawk. He guesses a lot, but like you said, he guesses right more often than wrong.
But when he does guess wrong, 80-yard touchdown.
It is bad. It is bad. And I think, and we saw it in the Patriot game and the Niner playoff game. He's a guy who he bites a lot. He bites on the double moves, and we saw that happen to him last year.
Yeah.
But you take that with the possibility of, 11. That's 11 extra possessions for your offense at the end of the year, right?
Yep.
That's what it is.
With good returns a lot of the time.
Yeah, or touchdowns even. That's points.
Yeah.
So will he be a top 5 corner? In my opinion, no, because I think to me it's all about man coverage. That's the Jalen Ramseys, the Jair Alexanders, the
Lattimore,
Tre'Davious White. Yeah. Whoever those physical man coverage corners are. Trayvon might be one of the best zone coverage corners.
Yeah.
Because he guesses so much, and he reads the ball almost like a wide receiver because he played that in college. He has that the ball skills to come down with the ball and make the acrobatic catch, which works.
Yeah.
But people just can't sit there and look at the accolades and the numbers and think he's the best corner in football. Because then you'll watch Simi Fehoko, who, what was he last year? Late round pick, right?
6th.
Well, you watch him last year, absolutely, double move and torch Trayvon Diggs. You're gonna sit there and clown the guy thinking that he's supposed to be the best, but in reality, that's just not who he is.
I mean, just to end the Trayvon Diggs talk and move on.
Well, get off, leave the man alone.
Yeah, the biggest thing. Look at Xavier Howard's 11-pick season with the Dolphins. He gave up literally more yards, but it didn't matter because the Dolphins are the Dolphins, and people are just like whatever. But if you're a Cowboy and you do what Diggs did, then it's like, man, he had 11 picks, but you almost gave 1,000 yards receiving.
Yeah, and I mean, another argument could be look at Zeke, right?
Yeah.
The Cowboys gave him that what I think still is a horrible contract, and you're getting the return of play from Zeke. People are gonna keep talking about it because it's Zeke Elliott running back for the Dallas Cowboys. If Zeke was on the Titans or the Bengals or wherever any other
team, not the Cowboys,
it wouldn't matter because he wouldn't be on the team. He would be cut because of that contract.
Well, not even that. It's just people love to hate Cowboys, so they're gonna look at anything and find a way to tear you down. Because Cowboys fans are quite toxic, and I understand. That's why I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm not I'm not delusional. I can have an honest Cowboys conversation and say that we suck, which is okay.
And I do think Zeke's past his prime, to be honest.
Whoa. He's only getting into this prime.
Don't do that.
All Zeke's got to do is change the diet.
Don't do that.
We need to go vegan.
Don't do that. Don't sit there and tell me you'd be a realistic Cowboy fan and then tell me that, oh yeah, Zeke, he's not part of the problem.
But it's like you. I'm a diehard Ezekiel Elliott fan, just like you're a diehard Mike Thomas fan. I ride this bus till the wheels fall off.
No, I do respect that. I respect the bus driver that stays there. Oh no, that's a horrible analogy. A good captain goes down with the ship, right?
Exactly.
That, and you're on the Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
Zeke is on the Zeke is
the Titanic, and I'm riding it till we sink.
And the iceberg is the contract and injuries.
Yes.
And no matter how bad it might get, you're still gonna ride. I respect that.
I think it's our fault. We ran him into the ground his first 2 or 3 years. I mean, he damn near had 400 touches his rookie year.
Yeah,
that's a lot of wear and tear on a guy that was he was the guy at Ohio State.
And you'll never see Zeke be that same Zeke that we saw early in his career.
But I'm fine with that. I'm fine with him being a 4 yards in a cloud of dust guy because he wears on defenses.
But having said that, does he deserve to have one of the highest contracts for running backs? If that's all he's going to be.
I mean, if he's one of the best pass blocking guys, yeah, I need him because you got to protect Dak because his offensive line is very shoddy. I mean, if you got Terrence still out there at right tackle, you have a problem.
Also, you guys can't kick out of that. Just remember that.
Oh, what?
You can't kick. Your kickers were sucking during training camp.
My thing is with the whole kicking thing, just quickly. Why the hell were we not bringing in a guy after 3 days straight? A guy's missing 50% of their field goals. Why were we this will get better? It was a week straight of guys were going 4 for 10, 5 for 12. Why?
A combined 6 for 20, and then you brought back Brett Maher of all people.
I applaud the Cowboys for trying though, because that was the first time in a minute since Dan Bailey that we brought in a young kicker and we're giving a guy a chance. Besides that, we were kind of just rotating, old
veteran kickers, yeah.
So I mean, I applaud them for trying, but we took the wrong guy.
Somehow it's worse than Greg Zuerlein.
I mean, they should have figured that out. I mean, they took a guy from Tech. Tech guys don't work out. Terrence Steele.
Wes Welker.
Keep naming famous, well, not famous, but guys from Tech that worked out.
Danny Amendola.
2.
Michael Crabtree. He played a long career.
You're saying Michael Crabtree was a competent player?
He had a career.
No.
It was longer than the average. It was longer than the average Tech player.
I mean, longer than average, but we're still not going to boast about a guy that's
Jordan Brooks. He's actually very nice.
Seahawks fans are not very high on Jordan Brooks.
I think he's very nice.
They're saying he's the reason why they got rid of Bobby Wagner.
I blame Pete Carroll.
Keep naming. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, that's a given.
Oh, Pat Mahomes. I wasn't even thinking about Pat Mahomes.
Can you name anybody else? We were talking about a guy, the Tech guy. He got hurt. Jakeem Grant.
Oh, yeah, Jakeem Grant.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill.
Jay Samaro.
Damn, I've heard that name. He got that Rise of Star card in Madden 15.
He played for a couple years.
A season and a half. And
Dakota Allen.
Huh?
Dakota Allen, the linebacker.
He's like a 5th string on the damn Jaguars who got beat by 40 by the Raiders the other night.
That's it. But I named more than you expected, did I not?
I'm pretty impressed. You threw out some obscure names. I'll give you that.
I threw out more names than you expected.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you that.
So, what else from Cowboys? What else from the Cowboys camp side of things are you excited about?
The only thing that really excites me is the fact that CeeDee Lamb is cooking.
I have heard good things about CD.
And the fact that Tyler Smith has basically been our best offensive lineman outside of Zach Martin. He's been, we see the picture as soon as he gets to camp, and it's looks like a completely different guy since we drafted him. Physique-wise, he's taking it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
He's learning how to play with his hands inside. The athleticism's crazy. He just seems like he comes in with a really good veteran presence, and I like it. And you didn't expect that from a guy from a smaller school.
Right.
I don't know. The kids really impressed me. I think it's time we move on from Connor McGovern and stop putting him in the idea of this guy's a year away from being a year away. Like we're done with that. Just flip his ass somewhere and let's get a small shifty receiver and keep it pushing. Because I don't want to slide Cole Beasley back. I do not.
Oh, why not?
We don't.
Are there obvious reasons why you don't want Cole Beasley back?
We don't stand guys that stand against vaccines. We don't. Nope. We don't need another Amari Cooper in the room. Hell no.
And you saw how that went last year.
Yeah. And now his ass is a Brown.
What are you going to do?
He did not take very highly about Jacoby Brissett. So that kind of pissed me off. Fuck Amari Cooper.
Well, I mean, this was the guy who, when they had their team bonding thing or whatever, and on the beach, he was there in jeans and a...
That was wild. How the hell...
That was the most Amari Cooper thing I could expect.
That's the most anti-vax thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's just an Amari Cooper thing.
You could just show that to somebody and be like, you think this guy likes vaccines? No. He's wearing jeans in the Bahamas.
Jeans and a polo.
Looked like he was right.
It looked like he was down there writing a novel.
That's worse than when Kawhi showed up to that strip club in L.A. wearing all white.
Man, Kawhi's gonna come back fierce this year.
His ass look like a damn left tackle.
He's on a mission.
His ass look big as hell when they put on that jersey.
He's gonna bully some people. He's gonna remind us very quickly why the claw is real. So as far as the Raiders things go, for Javonte's sake, I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't heard a lot from the Raiders. I just know that the Derek Carr, Devontae Adams chemistry is there.
Yeah.
They're very impressed with their group of backs: Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake. I think it's gonna be more of by a committee approach.
Yeah.
With Jacobs being the lead candidate, but they're gonna mix in everybody, and I think that's something McDaniels did very well in New England, was getting all the backs involved in different ways, different formations,
keeping guys fresh.
Yeah, so I think that's something you can expect to see. Defensively, I've heard awesome things: Chandler Jones, Max Crosby.
Great tandem off the edge.
That's gonna be something scary to watch this year. And I think the Raiders. It's kind of weird because, like, as far as the AFC goes, I feel like everyone. I just don't know where they're gonna place it in the division.
It's a tough division.
It is tough. I want to say they're better than the Chargers, just because of the Chargers. They're always gonna charge it to me.
Yeah. Especially with the coach.
I can't count on the Chargers for 17 games. And I look at Denver, the pressure is going to be on Russell Wilson to win this year.
Yep.
Because the biggest thing with Russ is, I mean, he hasn't been to a conference title game since, 2014, right?
Yeah. Packers?
Yeah. Where they came back and beat the Packers in that crazy fashion.
Yeah, Richard Rodgers, man. Still stink. Lost me a lot of money on that game.
Bostic. The onside kick? Is that what you're talking about?
I thought it was Richard. I thought that was...
That was Bostic.
Oh. Well, he stinks too.
But no, I mean, the thing with Russ, that's been the narrative, right? Like, Russ in Seattle, the last couple of years, they were, you could guarantee them a wild card spot, but then they were going to lose in the first round.
Yep, every time.
So the pressure is on Russ to really get this team to where people want it to be, right? His first year coach, with all these weapons around him.
And they've been hyping it up ever since they got traded there.
Broncos country.
Let's ride.
Let's ride. So, I mean, the pressure's on Russ. And then with the Chiefs, they still have Pat Mahomes, still have Andy Reid, which is still the best.
All you need.
That's still the best quarterback coach duo in the NFL, probably. So, the Raiders, it's going to be interesting. They're going to fight for sure, but I think it's going to be. I like the Raiders.
I mean, when you look at it, obviously bringing in Devontae Adams, Chandler Jones, like those two big additions, I just feel like they lack depth. Like you were talking about the Saints, like y'all are deep where you need to be. I feel like the Raiders lack that depth where you guys have it. Like where a team that is a contender or wants to be a contender should be. Like I feel like that secondary is really thin. Like once you get past that first line of secondary players, I feel like it's a huge drop off.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the linebacker spot, specifically the middle, Mike, still lacking. I think that offensive line is still in a state of like okay and bad. Still not too high on what they have in that room. The running back by committee thing I think it's good to keep guys fresh, but at the same time, it's always nice to have a guy you can lean on to end a game. And I don't think they have that because I don't think Josh Jacobs is that or ever will be that. I don't know. I think the Raiders have a lot of momentum for them, but I feel like ultimately they're going to come up short just because Derek Carr stinks. He's going to show people.
See, why you got to do that? You build them up all that much, and then you tear it down with Derek Carr.
He stinks.
He does not stink.
If your quarterback play isn't there, you're not gonna be successful.
He is a top 12 quarterback in the NFL.
No.
He
Hell
is.
no.
He is.
Hell no.
He is. He's right outside. He is right outside.
Do we want to play this game? Who would I rather have?
He is right outside the top 10. I'll give you my 12 right now.
Come on, go ahead.
In no order. I'm just gonna name them out.
Go ahead.
Fair?
Yeah.
Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Burrow, Jackson, Murray, Rodgers, Brady. Russ. What is that, 9?
Yeah.
Who else am I forgetting? I thought I'm forgetting somebody. Dak.
Same quarterback to me.
Carr, 11. And then one more I'll take. I'm trying to think.
No more Tannehill?
I'm out of Tannehill. Deservingly, I'm out of Ryan Tannehill.
Mac and cheese.
Oh, Mac Jones?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I won over Mac Jones, though. No, Cousins.
Sheesh.
That last spot can go to Kirk Cousins.
I don't know if I would throw a guy in there. His best receiver on his team doesn't like him, so I don't know if I'd throw him in there. But nevertheless,
there's 12. Can you do any better?
I think I can name 12 backups that are better than Derek Carr. If we want to really play that game, I think I can name 12 backups that can do it.
Yeah, that's not nice.
When the lights are the brightest,
that's Kirk Cousins you're thinking of.
No. When the lights are the brightest, I look into Derek Carr's eyes, and the lights are on, but nobody's home.
The lights had never shined bright on the Raiders, though, until now.
It did in that playoff game. And what did he do? Threw a damn pick to a linebacker scraping underneath to end the game. No, I'm not saying he had a lot to do. Like, there was a lot open on that play, but that definitely wasn't the throw that was going to win you that game and give you a chance. That definitely was not the read. And there's just moments where it's like, you have the most, like, I think, one of the most dominant tight ends in the game in Darren Waller, and there's just times he's not even looking his way. And they're not rolling coverage into him because you can't really do that to a tight end, because if you do, you're going to leave speedy receivers wide open. So it's like, why not force feed your guy?
Well, maybe
it cost me my fantasy championship because he wouldn't throw the ball to Darren Waller. Okay,
maybe with Josh McDaniels, he'll see that now.
Josh McDaniels is a schmuck.
He's an offensive mind. Came from New England. Worked with Tom Brady, one of the best.
I will die on a hill that he needs his ass whooped for running bubble screens and flies with N'Keal Harry. Got my boy Doughboy's knees looking like
don't sit there and defend
minefield.
Don't sit there and defend N'Keal Harry.
Hey,
don't
N'Keal Harry's not that bad, man. It's my guy, Doughboy.
Don't do that. Pillsbury? Pillsbury?
Pillsbury Doughboy. Yeah.
Pillsbury? Okay. So from what I heard from the Raiders, it's a lot of backs by committee. Derek Carr, Devontae Adams look like they're picking up from Fresno State. They're loving their defense, their front seven, headlined by Crosby and Chandler Jones. And the secondary, as long as it gets stay healthy, they like the younger guys they have.
Yeah.
And they traded for Rocky Sin from the Colts as well.
Yeah.
So they have some young talent they want to develop. Yeah. As long as the starters stay healthy, I think they feel fine about that.
I think they kind of just like interviewed some guys and they were like, "Hey, so do you like toting guns on Instagram and waving them around?" They're like, "No, okay, you can play football."
You want to kill somebody?
That was crazy as hell.
Damon Arnett, what a wild era! What a wild year that was for them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk no mess though. Damon Arnett about his stuff. So if you're listening, Damon, I'm cool with you. Just don't shoot.
So Miami, I'm interested in what you did because you picked Miami very eagerly.
I was very eager to get the Dolphins. So you want to hear my report? Tua stinks.
That's all you gotta say.
No, Tua's actually been decent.
I've heard he's been very, very surprisingly. I've heard that Debo has been a lot better than people expected.
I mean, I think it's cool to see it in practice, but it's just like that offensive line. There's still a lot of questions. I still question Tua's durability as a quarterback in the NFL during a 17-game season. So I don't think he has what it takes to make it those 17 games, play at a consistent level throughout with that offensive line. Like, if you got Connor Williams starting for you, you got a problem. You got a big problem. So, I'm hearing defensively, I mean, they're just meshing. I mean, they're picking up right where they left off defensively.
It's a good defensive team.
Very good. I mean, obviously getting Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's going to cook anybody in front of him, no matter what. Dolphins are looking good.
And they got a stable of good running backs, too.
Yeah, they got some. They finally have some guys.
Because they didn't have that last year.
Oh, that would have had
Myles Gaskin.
Myles
Gaskin getting these inside handoffs.
Yeah. I do want to, like, I very typically get off my heels when I, like, say something. I typically die on those hills. But I will say, man, that McDaniels guy, decent. I mess with his character. I
like him a lot.
He's kind of has that kind of stale, dry humor, but it's funny. He's himself. I like that.
I'll never forget, before the draft, I think they interviewed him at Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah.
And somebody had asked him, F, Marry, Kill, and like there were 3 head coaches. And the man just sat there and answered it so confidently. And I was like, you know what, Mike McDaniel? I ride with this.
I like the way you think.
You answered that question. Nobody else would have.
But they would have decided the Belichick. Belichick would have got out the chair and walked right out the damn room.
But you took the phone and answered it.
So you know what? I like these.
But I think the biggest thing with Miami is gonna, and I know everybody wants to harp on Tua and Tyreek Hill, and I think to me that's not the one thing I was looking at this. It was gonna be the running game.
Yeah.
Because they've had that the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So to get Raheem Mostert, who's coming off the injury, they signed Chase Edmonds from the Cardinals. They signed Sony Michel. I think there's somebody else they signed.
I think that's it.
Okay. Well, they got a core of good running backs, and I think with Mike McDaniel, and my thing is, the deep ball with Tyreek is not going to be the answer every time, because I think, interestingly, what you saw with the Niners last year with Deebo Samuel and with Ayuk and some of the other guys, is it's going to be a lot of misdirection, behind the line of scrimmage, short pass, and let the speed do the rest stuff.
Yeah, get your playmakers the ball and let them do what they are paid to do.
Exactly. So I think I saw a video today. They're having joint practices with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle just torched Carlton Davis.
Yeah, Carlton Davis stinks.
He's not very good. But I think with Miami, I think they're going to be. I think they're a playoff team. People want to say they're a fringe and not quite there, but I think as long as they can run the ball efficiently and take some pressure off Tua, I think they're a playoff team. The defense is there. You address the offensive line with Teron Armstead, a left tackle. You sign Connor Williams, and we'll see. But you're counting the development of Austin Jackson and some of the other younger guys as well. So
I don't know. If I'm playing the Dolphins, what I'm gonna do is I'm putting 7 people in the box. I'm gonna wear out that interior of that offensive line. I'm gonna press my corners. I'm gonna take away anything short, and I'm gonna make Tua beat me with the deep ball. I'm gonna give him no other option than to just chunk it deep.
That's fair.
And
that's fair.
If you do that well enough and your guys win those battles, you beat the Dolphins. That's just how it is.
We'll see. We'll see what happens in this season. What is one player or headline you're looking forward to that isn't involving any of these 4 teams?
I would probably say, you're not going to like what I'm going to say. I'm going to go Perrion Winfrey. Perrion Winfrey, the Browns.
I'm not going to lie to you. I thought you were going to go with Baker in Carolina.
No. That's too easy.
That's too
too low of fruit. I need to reach a little higher on the tree and really
pick another Oklahoma Sooner.
Yeah, pick another Sooner. I don't know. Perrion just got disrespected because it's like he was like a fringe late first, second round guy, and he fell to like the 4th or 5th.
We killed it at the Senior Bowl.
Mm-hmm. He has, I mean, like some people kind of question like he kind of plays with like some reckless abandonment. He kind of, he's a little scrappy at times. Extracurricular, kind of like a Trevor Penning in a way. Like I don't know. Like I don't think I've ever seen somebody that loves football more than Perrion Winfrey. I've actually been around the dude. And he's just like he's a fun guy to be around. He cares about his teammates. He loves football. I like people like that just enjoy being out there and and give it all they got. I like that. And apparently he's as of right now, he's looking like D tackle number 2 on the team. So that's really impressive for a guy taken later.
Who's he behind? Who's the
starter? Who was it?
Who is the interior lineman for Cleveland?
I forget who it was. Damn it! Because they brought in somebody in free agents. He's ahead of him. Whoever the guy is, I forget his name. But by the end of the year, Perrin Winfrey, D tackle number 1. That's the narrative we push into the
by the end of the year.
Yes, by the end of the year.
Oh, now I'm gonna look next time. I'm interested. Now you got me interested. I'll go and talk. I'll talk and look up here. I think my storyline, it's gonna be the former. Oh, I just found it. Tavon Bryan or Jordan Elliott.
I think it was Tavon Bryant that was getting the 1 reps, I think.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Wasn't he the former Jag?
Yeah.
Out of Florida?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. I think my guy I'm going to go with here, something I've heard very, very positive reports out of Detroit with Jeff Okudah, who was the former top third pick in 2019?
He was Kyler's draft. So, yeah.
So 19, right? Out of Ohio State. Played football down here at South Grand Prairie. Mm-hmm. Obviously played a rough rookie season.
Very rough.
And then, let me make sure. I think you're right, though. Let me see.
I remember he was because him and Kyler played their first game against each other.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. And then the 2 back-to-back years of season-ending injuries.
Very tough. Ugh.
Yeah.
Lower body, too.
Yeah, both of the knees. And the reports have come out that he's been the MVP breakout player. That's a guy who I think people maybe had some questions as far as who was cornerback 1. Mm-hmm. And they've quickly been addressed with Jeff Okudah's strong performance throughout camp. I'm happy to see that for the guy. Just to see him in a good place physically, mentally, that's important. Especially for a guy who was a top pick, has 2 critical back-to-back injuries, and people probably question, is he a bust?
I mean, outside of the injuries, just not getting to see him out there, he just wasn't playing well either when he was out there. And it was just like, God, this guy was a cover corner at Ohio State. He can't even cover. And it was just and then you still saw the whole, he has he has times of being really robotic in his drops, and he doesn't really show a lot of willingness to tackle, being physical, whenever,
mm-hmm.
people are running at him and he seemed hesitant and things like that to just jump in there and make a play. But it's it's like you said, glad to see the guy's healthy. Glad to see he's out there showing some, some little bits and pieces that he still can be a top corner, that he was thought to be being a 3rd overall pick. So happy for the guy. And I hope it translates to the season, hopefully.
Yeah, and I think Aaron Glenn will be the best thing for Jeff Okudah.
Oh, without a doubt.
He was very big in Marshawn Lattimore's, rise to being a true shutdown corner. Very instrumental in kind of that whole Saints secondary. Marcus Williams, talk about the development of P.J. Williams, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And I think that he'll do a lot of good things for Jeff Okudah going forward.
100%.
So I'm happy to see Jeff Okudah's bouncing back. It's a very feel-good story to see right there for a guy. Speaking of Jeff Okudah, let's talk about the Lions real quick and Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
Because they're a fun team. Obviously, Dan Campbell and his staff have a very fun energy. Aaron Glenn and Deuce, I love the bickering back and forth between the 2 of them.
It's funny seeing 50-year-olds just go at each other like they're 20 again. It's funny.
Jamal Williams is a very fun character.
No,
go ahead.
People are really gonna when you watch you watching our Hard Knocks and you really get to see who Jamal Williams is. Outside the people that actually really are into football and you understand who he is and you follow him on social media, you're gonna see that he's a regular guy. He just plays football. He's really good at football.
Yeah.
Loves anime, loves going out there and playing football and just having a good time with the guys. Great sense of humor.
The speech he gave at the end was it kind of makes you go, you know what? How can you not root for the Lions after watching that?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, I almost cried.
That's just you can really tell in this one episode of Hard Knocks, you can tell the culture in Detroit has changed.
100% changed.
From the Matt Patricia. And granted, I think they should have never fired Jim Caldwell. and they made the mistake of Patricia and trying to make it the Patriot way in Detroit.
Yeah.
But you probably could not have asked a better guy to come in and completely overhaul the culture for the better than Dan Campbell, I think.
Yep.
You know, he may have said some crazy things about biting kneecaps, and he wants lions in cages at the stadium, and he has like 3 venti coffees from Starbucks every day. But, you know, you watch the Hard Knocks, and you go, how can you not root for this team? How can you not root for this team?
100%.
Like, they're like America's losers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a saying, right?
Sure, we'll go with it.
We'll go with that. They're the underdogs, but we'll take them every time.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say, because you brought that up, like with him saying to bite the kneecaps off, they were like, ooh, like I was one of those people that's like, oh, what the hell is this dude talking about? But you really think about it, like,
no, I got behind it 100%.
I mean, he's just being him, and like, I think the biggest thing is like when you're shifting a culture is like, and you're coming in as a coach and you're trying to you're defining a culture for a young team.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be yourself. You can't act like you're anybody. Be you, and he's being himself.
And especially, you know, for the veterans who went through the Patricia era, and that was all, you know, a robot and the Patriot way, you know, it has to be done strict by the books and everything.
Yeah.
And then, you know, imagine being a vet and you watch your new head coach go, I'm ready to bite some kneecaps off these guys, and you're just like, I like this.
This is different.
And he talks about, I want lions in cages at practice, and you're like, he's really being himself.
Mm-hmm.
I can be myself around here.
What was it? What was it on? Was it Hard Knocks? First episode of Hard Knocks was like, what? He's like, D's nuts. Like, you don't expect a 45-year-old grown ass man to say things like that. Just funny.
I just love the energy of the Lions. Aiden Hutchinson singing.
Yeah, beat it. Well, it was Billie Jean.
So I was asking this. I'm about to list at you right on the spot.
Yeah.
If you were in the NFL, and you know, for your rookie talent show, you had to go up there and sing a song, what would you sing? What's your go-to? What's the go-to in your car? No matter what mood you're in, you're gonna sing it.
Hold on, I'm not good. Like, that's probably my biggest thing. Is like I'm not too good at like saying names. It's like just reverberating it really well. So give me 2 seconds. Let me go to my Spotify playlist. Probably if I had to go with one.
By the way, Aiden killed it, I might add.
I did a really good job.
He did a really good job. I was like, you know what? Billie G, you hit that.
Not that it's a super hard song to sing.
No.
But either way, like, it wasn't even just him, like, doing decent. He got into it, and, like, a lot of guys get stiff, and they're, like, shy. And he embodied what he was doing.
Like, it's the culture, right?
Yeah.
He bought into the, like, you just hang loose, be goofy, and, you know, let's go play football.
Damn. Okay, let's throw the same question back to you. What would you prefer?
I already know. I got like 3 choices off the top of my head.
Let me hear them.
One would be Strangers Like Me from Tarzan. It's when Jane shows Tarzan like how to be like a human.
Yeah.
In that song, dude, every time I will hit that song no matter what. 2 would be Boyfriend by Big Time Rush. No questions asked. I will sing that in front of people. If we ever go to karaoke night, I will sing that, no doubt. 3 would probably be it's like a good classic that defines our era. Life is a Highway, Rascal Flatts.
Okay.
No doubt. You play that, I will start singing it, no doubt. In front of, it could be in front of the president at the White House, and they would have to detain me because I could be a possible threat because of my swaying moves. Yeah, I would do it still no matter what.
Who would be the president, though? Joe?
Oh, no, in my world, it's Tom Hanks.
Okay, I respect that.
In my world, it's Hanks as president.
I think I've narrowed mine down to, I'd probably do...
I feel like yours are completely different than mine.
Oh, I mean, we listen to 2 different kinds of music, because I was raised, like, have, like, a really old soul. So I listen to a lot of, like, old 70s, 80s things.
Yeah.
So I'd probably go... Anything probably Stevie Wonder, because I grew up listening to that.
It's classic.
This song specifically, My Sharia Moore.
Okay.
Yeah. I can sing my heart out to that song.
Is that it? You got anything else?
I mean, anything Michael Jackson. I mean, I'm the biggest Michael Jackson fan. Like, I have friends that have literal, like, screenshots of me doing the whole, like, the hat, the fedora, and all the Jackson pose. It's pretty embarrassing. But it's funny that you bring up the whole rookie showcase thing, because that was like one of the reasons why I didn't want to go play college football, because freshmen have to do that, and I am so shy, bro. I would have died. That's so.
I should. You see, if we'd known each other back then, I would have gone with you and edged you on. I would have gone first and made you more comfortable.
Oh,
because I would embarrass myself in front of everybody, and they would compare us and go, you know what? I was a lot worse.
Oh my gosh, that would have been a time.
We could do karaoke sometime. I feel like we take the guys out to karaoke.
You can do karaoke at the house. I can't embarrass myself in public anymore.
I do it. No questions asked.
Oh
I feel like I fit in perfectly with the Lions. I can't play or anything, but just bring me on. I'm a fan. I love the culture, man. I love it.
Probably a better quarterback than Jared Goff.
He's been on TV quite a bit now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean,
what, 3 times?
This is second to Hard Knocks.
This is, yeah, twice on Hard Knocks and then once on All for Nothing.
Think about it. They showed him as rookie year on Hard Knocks.
And All for Nothing.
All for Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then this Hard Knocks will be his last year. Full circle.
Hard Knocks 3 times. Because weren't they Hard Knocks last year? With the Chargers? Because they were both in L.A., right?
Chargers?
Yeah.
You mean the Rams?
The Rams, yeah. So he's had 4 Hard Knocks.
No, they didn't get
3
2.
Hard Knocks.
They didn't get 2 Hard Knocks.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
They had his rookie year. They had his rookie year.
And then last year.
No. Last year was the Cowboys.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The year before that. During the COVID years. That was Chargers and Rams. Because they were in L.A. together.
Look it up.
No, seriously.
I swear they only got one in his regime with the Rams.
No, he has 2. Because the Hard Knocks with the Chargers was Chargers-Rams because they were both in L.A. together.
I swear we never got to see Sean McVay on Hard Knocks.
He has.
You might be right. Because I remember like a scene of like them like showing like a new facility, and like the first thing was like the team doing yoga or something like that.
Yeah, 2016, 2020, and then All for Nothing 2016.
Okay, you're right.
So this will be his 4th television appearance.
Nevertheless, we got to see rookie Jared Goff. Now we get to see end of career Jared Goff. So this is fun. It went full circle, and all at the age of 28 years old, it's all over.
Hey man, it is what it is.
And go be a surfer.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like he might be a blue collar, hard working guy in Detroit now. Actually, he was on a podcast the other day, and they asked him like, how does it feel like being in Detroit versus LA? Because the celebrities, the athletes. And Jared Goff flat out said like, I'm like 20th on the list of famous people in LA. When people see me, they don't recognize me.
Yeah.
And he goes, when I'm in Detroit, it feels good because everybody recognizes me. I'm like, you know what, Jared Goff, good for you.
God, I can't imagine like living in Detroit and like we're just out eating pizza and then your son's like, oh my God, Dad, it's Jared Goff. My son did that. Son, eat your dinner.
Don't bother the nice man. Don't bother him.
Oh, fuck him. Where's Tim Boyle at? Where's
David Blow or what blog?
Yeah, Blau.
That's what it was.
Where's TJ Hawkins? Anybody else on that team? Not.
Where's Jamal Williams?
Oh, Jamal Williams. Oh my God, I'd run through a damn brick wall to meet him. So we could talk about anime for hours.
But I think that wraps up mostly NFL. Oh, let's now move to the NBA real quick.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, some big updates have happened as far as Kevin Durant is concerned. Mm-hmm. He's basically told the Nets ownership to pick me or the head coach, the head coach and the GM.
Yep.
Obviously, this is not going to get resolved anytime soon. What do we think is going to happen?
I mean, if I'm the owner and KD sits in my office and we talk and he's like, "Hey, Sean Marks, Steve Nash, fuck him. I need two new guys in those roles. All right, KD, what you want?" I'd call him up right in front of KD and you're fired.
You give in to the star right there and then.
It's Kevin Durant. You don't tell Kevin Durant no. LeBron doesn't get to hear no. Then why the hell will KD get a no?
LeBron's different.
Stop it.
LeBron's proven he can
Stop it.
He can win on his own.
No, he hasn't. All those years of like, man, if LeBron just had something with him, he could win these championships. Like all those years, all the losses in the finals, and people just like, he didn't have this, he didn't have that. He got discounts for all that. KD, they ride KD for whatever reason because KD's so vocal of like that he's a guy.
I think it has more to do with the fact that he joined the Warriors of all teams.
I don't blame him.
Like, if he left OKC and went anywhere else, it wouldn't have been a problem. But he joined that team.
I mean, the optics of you had those guys 3-1 going to the finals, and you lose that. And KD was one of the reasons why they lost, because he had a terrible series, that second half of that series. But, I mean, he was also Russell Westbrook.
And historically, that was one of the greatest regular season teams we had seen.
Yep.
73-9.
73-9.
Has literally a lineup of all-stars. Curry, Clay, Draymond, Iguodala. Well, not all-star, but, it's Curry, Curry, Durant, Curry, Thompson, Green, and a bunch of, good role players. And then
we don't slander Harrison Barnes.
Well, yeah.
That's Dark Knight.
Yeah. And then KD goes, you know what? I'm going to win a ring with them. I think that's where people, because I think now for Durant, it's about legacy. I think KD realizes he got the rings. That's what he wanted. But now it's about how people view his career and legacy from here on out. And I think that's why he's so adamant on getting it right with Brooklyn. Whether it's him building a team in Brooklyn his way with his coach and his GM, he wants to have a fair say in how the team is built.
Yeah.
Or it's take me somewhere where I can do that. If you're gonna keep Nash and the GM.
Yeah, it's Sean Marks.
I don't know why I keep forgetting his name, Sean Marks. You understand what I'm saying here? I think that for KD, that's what this is all about. It's legacy. How he's viewed it for the rest of his career.
I get what you're saying, but somebody that's followed KD his whole NBA career, I don't think KD gives a fuck about what people think about him.
I think as much as he cares about social media and he gets into it with people, I think he does care about legacy.
If so many people are talking shit, eventually it's going to inevitably get to is you're a human being. And if people do nothing but harp on you, yeah, it does get frustrating, obviously. But I think deep down, I think he likes playing ball and he likes being on the biggest stage, which is the finals. Yeah. And I think he's really just going to do whatever it takes to get back to that. And he doesn't really, at that point, he can talk his shit. So people can shut the hell up about, well, you're not Kevin, you're not LeBron James, you're not this, top 5, regardless. I don't care.
It's interesting because I have this take. I heard it on the radio this morning. I don't know your opinion on it. Kevin Durant. Let me ask you this question: Kevin Durant, Dirk Nowitzki. Let's just talk about the two guys, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, obviously, better player.
Yeah, obviously.
Right?
Yeah,
obviously. In the retrospect of their careers, Dirk's and KD's.
Yeah.
Which one do you look at more and go, kind of went about it the right way?
Obviously Dirk. Obviously. He stayed with the team. He took discounts. Never said a bad thing about any team he was on. Gave it his all. Literally gave it his all until the wheels fell off. You can barely walk now. He gave us everything. You saying that to me is hard because I'm such a diehard Mavericks fan.
Okay, we'll take out Dirk. Tim Duncan.
Oh shit! Give me. Fuck Tim Duncan.
Kobe Bryant.
Okay. Obviously Kobe.
Okay, no, you love Kobe. Well, again, in the retrospect of their career, which one do you look at more and go, they went about it the right way their entire career? KD or Kobe?
You almost can talk about them in the same light because Kobe almost left the Lakers.
People do twice, right?
Yeah.
Twice. He almost got traded to Dallas.
Almost got traded to Dallas. And then he almost left to
Chicago, right? Yeah,
Chicago. Because the team was pretty set on Shaq being the guy. And he wanted to be the face. So he almost left in a KD-esque way almost.
True.
He said to him and Vanessa were looking at houses in Chicago. And they were dead-ass about to flip that switch and switch conferences. So, I don't see anything. It doesn't hurt me because, for one, I'm not a part of any of those fan bases. True. I'm just a KD fan. So it doesn't, fuck the Nets. I don't give a They could implode for all I care. But
I have some Thunder fans who, they don't like Kevin Durant.
He gave you everything he had. Why the hell be mad at him? He's the reason why you're still a franchise.
Well, I think it has more to do with the fact that after that loss, Kevin Durant had openly said to the media, I'm going to re-sign and, we're going to build something in OKC. And then, however long it was later, went to Golden State.
But
that's the problem I think people have at Kevin. That's why I think fans have a problem because he told them flat out, I'm going to re-sign. We got Russ. We got Ibaka. We're going to build something here with us three. We got the foundation. And then bolted to Golden State without telling anybody.
But what do you expect the dude to say after losing a series where you're up 3-1, literally one game away from going to the finals again for your second time, a better team and everything? You feel like you're there. You've ascended to that. and then you lose that, and then they ask you right after that game, hey, your contract's up, Kevin. What do you want to do? Hey, what do you expect him to just drop a bomb on everybody? You know what? Fuck this place. Fuck Middle America. I'm going to the West Coast, and I'm hooping with Steph. Like, he's not going to say that. He's not dumb like that.
But people believe. But people believed it. Then people thought that he was. They had no reason to doubt Kevin Durant at that point.
That's their fault for believing it.
So I shouldn't trust Kevin Durant.
No, you should.
He's not trustworthy.
You shouldn't.
That's what. That's.
No, I'm saying. Okay.
I'm messing with you, but yeah.
You shouldn't. You got to understand like the situation that athletes are put in, and how they answer the question.
Right.
Because KD said that, but if you really look at his body language, like he was just saying that because if he said anything else, it would be a damn circus. It would be, oh, KD's going here, KD's going there. Like that's all they would talk about until he made his final decision. Your life would literally be nothing other than a circus, especially when you're Kevin Durant.
And now his basketball life and legacy is all about Steph Curry and Klay won you those rings. You may have been the better player. No one's going to question that. But you wouldn't have gotten there without the Warriors. That's how people look at it now.
I don't care if Kevin Durant didn't have a ring. Kevin Durant's a top 5 all-time player to me, regardless.
He is.
There's never been anybody in the game like Kevin Durant. I don't think there ever will be another.
But I think now if you ask people, he's a top 5 player, but if you ask people how they feel about him, Golden State will come up.
I mean, people are going to say that because a lot of people are just not really.
He took the easy way to it, which, I mean, again, nothing wrong with taking the easy way to the ring. That's essentially what he did.
I mean, it's not. Basketball's more than just easy. Like, I mean, you think
about
it.
That team won 73 games.
Because they have a great system. It's not because they're the best team on, they have Draymond, they have Steph, they have Klay. But we've seen those guys not be able to win on those stages before. You don't have to have the most talent in basketball to win. That's the most beautiful thing about basketball. You don't got to be the fastest. You don't got to be the tallest. You can still go out there and whoop somebody's ass. I can drop 50. I could drop 50 in a game right now in basketball. I'm out of shape, overweight, still got that jumper though. But that's the beauty of the game. Is at the end of the day, the Cavs still lost to them. LeBron could have won that series. If you want to build up, the Warriors being that, then why are we building up LeBron to be big and bad if he couldn't beat the Warriors with Kevin Durant? If you're so good, if you're the GOAT, beat him. And don't complain after you lose. Like, damn, we just didn't have enough guys. Hey, play better. Learn how to shoot free throws.
Like Kai, his second best player was probably J.R. Smith.
And?
J.R. Smith costed them game 1.
That's LeBron's fault for letting him get the ball in the first place. If you're so good, get the rebound. Then it never would have got to J.R. Smith, right?
You know what? You could have that.
At the end of the day, this went full circle to say LeBron sucks.
KD's a snake. That's just how I'm going to take this. No. Full circle, KD's a snake. Snakes lay low in the garden, folks.
We stand Kevin Durant.
So, I mean, what do you think's going to happen ultimately?
He's going to stay. He's going to play out this year, and then it'll be a circus again.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
You think Kyrie's going to play?
Okay, Kyrie's going to play. He wants to finish with it because they like each other. There is no friction between him and Kyrie. It's just
it's the front office and
yeah. And their ideology with Kyrie, and then that started friction with KD and the Nets
because they attacked his boy.
So it all came back to COVID. COVID kind of fucked up the Nets.
No, if Kyrie just got in the shot, this wouldn't be nothing.
But if COVID never happens, championship. Hear me out.
If we just took care of COVID from the beginning and were responsible as a country.
So whoa! Politics. First, Donald Trump's fault.
Politics.
Wow, that was a very long-winded way to say Donald Trump stinks.
Facts. Politics.
Love to see it.
Yep. Very quickly, I'll make this a very short Dre and Jay session since obviously DeAndre and Javante are not here.
Mm-hmm.
Warner Brothers stinks. There's not much else to say. They scrapped the Batgirl movie, which was a $90 million movie they had already finished. It was put together. It was made to go to HBO Max directly. Warner Brothers came out and said this was a movie not worthy of the quality to go to HBO Max, which doesn't make sense because it came out earlier this week that the fan screen or the test screenings for Batgirl scored out almost similarly to the Black Adam, which is coming out in theaters later this year, which again does not make sense whatsoever.
Yeah,
they got problems because Warner Bros. Got problems. They just need to reset all this right now and be done. The Flash potentially could be scrapped. Warner Bros. Announced there are 3 possible options to the Flash. One being, they will try and get Ezra Miller into counseling and get him some small publicity with the film, which I think is that's just sounds like a bad idea. I don't know who thought that in that room that was a good idea.
Yeah.
2 would be to go with the movie releasing but not have Ezra do any press whatsoever, so it will be just the rest of the cast doing the touring and the promoting and whatnot.
Yeah.
And 3 would be scrapping the movie altogether, which would be a massive loss on Warner Brothers' part, because you're talking about scrapping that movie, $100+ million budget, I'm sure.
Yep.
If Batgirl was $90 million, that was an HBO Max movie.
Yep.
They also scrapped the Scoob animated sequel to the first Scoob movie.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why Scoob got scrapped in the middle of all this. Don't know why, but Scoob got scrapped.
Mm-hmm.
Warner Brothers has some problems. Also, Ezra Miller got charged with felony burglary in Vermont.
Bro just need to pick up a hobby.
Broke into someone's house, stole some alcohol. So I don't know. Again, I don't know what made somebody go at Warner Brothers. You know what? We can take him and reform him and make him a decent person in society again, enough to promote our movie.
They might as well just lock him in a room with Tim Tebow for a week and see how that works out. Maybe the power of Christ can compel him to stop breaking into people's houses
and yelling and assaulting people and starting cults with kids apparently and
like holding them hostage in Wyoming or wherever.
Yeah. So Warner Bros. Got some problems on the list. So they got to figure all this out. On top of that, Aquaman's on drop with Amber Heard, and we all know how that fiasco's going.
That's not going to do good.
Yeah. And the biggest thing about all this is Michael Keaton, who was supposed to be the Batman in the Batgirl movie. Mm-hmm. His future in Warner Brothers is probably in doubt because The Flash was supposed to come out before Aquaman originally. And in Aquaman 2, Michael Keaton's Batman was going to make a post-credit appearance. But since The Flash got pushed back so many times, it's now Ben Affleck's Batman who's doing the post-credit scene.
Yep.
And we all thought Ben Affleck was never going to come back to Warner Brothers and do Batman again after their fallouts.
Here we are.
So Warner Brothers got to figure all this out nonetheless. They got to figure it out. I don't know what they're doing.
I mean, with the whole Miller thing, it was kind of like that was kind of outside of their hand. At this point, they're just trying to do damage control
and try to get and make at least break even on the movie.
Yeah, but like you said, like the 3 ideas that they floated out there for like a plan to like how to like manage the situation with him is like all of them are pretty bad. I mean, the only reasonable
would be the second one.
Yeah, the second one.
Just roll him with the movie, but don't have him involved in any kind of promoting or marketing of the movie.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
which is kind of weird because he's like your main.
He's gonna be in the. Like, people know he's gonna be in the movie.
So, also Warner Brothers did announce that they're gonna. They have a 10-year plan in place with DC, kind of like how Marvel started up.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. They have a blueprint at least.
DC's on a pretty rocky start to that 10-year plan.
And DC had gotten it right almost. Like, they had some solid movies,
Solid. I mean, you're never gonna top Marvel, but I mean,
the Batman was great.
I don't think it was that good.
It was good.
It was. Yeah. I saw it on bootleg. I didn't see it in theater.
You can watch it on HBO Max.
Nah, I had to get the bootleg copy.
The download.
Yeah, the dude with the camcorder, and you hear the popcorn crunching in the background.
Oh my God, you're better than that.
That was my viewing experience, and I wasn't impressed.
Makai, we will go watch it. You can come over and watch it on HBO Max. I promise. So they got to figure it out nonetheless. They got some problems.
I think the best thing will probably be to do is just to scrap the movie. But man, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they've already scrapped so many other projects.
Yep.
So you kind of need to put something out there and like actually get to have
and
some return on your investment.
Also, it really doesn't help when your next best moneymaker is gonna be Aquaman with Amber Heard,
and that's not.
Not. People are already pretty upset she's still in the movie.
I don't know why they went ahead with it. They just went ahead and greenlighted and just like fine.
Well, they already finished the movie by the time all this.
Fool. We cut those scenes. We reshoot with a new female cast member, and then we just keep it pushing.
So, She-Hulk comes out next week on Marvel or on Disney Plus, so that will be fun. I'm excited about that. I'm excited.
I saw that little it was a 2-minute little tidbit of like him teaching her how to be a Hulk. And...
Yep. Daredevil's gonna be in it.
Yeah.
Which would be very nice. And I think that's all. Let me get this is for DeAndre. This is for DeAndre and Javante when they're watching this.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strictly. Just answer yes or no. Do you think they should recast T'Challa in the MCU?
Damn. I remember the last time I was here, y'all were talking about that.
Well, you weren't here when the trailer dropped after Comic-Con, and DeAndre's for it, Javante's against it. Kenneth is for it. Yes, right? Can give me a nod. Yes, he gave me yes, he is for it. Thumbs up. I see both sides, but ultimately, I wanted the character of the Black Panther, his story, to continue.
Yeah.
So I was for it.
Yeah.
But
I will say.
But I get both sides of why they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I get people just like there is never going to be another Chadwick Boseman to carry this franchise like he was planning to, like, you know, that the plan was for him to carry it.
Yeah.
So there obviously it's not going to be that, but I think it's still so important. Like Chadwick saw it as important. Like he still did this, and he knew that inevitably he probably wasn't going to be here for a second one, but he still wanted to push this and like give, you know, kids that look like me and, you know, a chance to look at this black superhero.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine with it, and the trailer looks fantastic. I cried. I'm not gonna lie.
I did too.
That was very powerful.
I got very teary eyed. I was like, "Damn!"
I didn't know 2 minutes of a cinema trailer could fuck me up like that.
And
I'd been a stranglehold for about 18 hours.
The transition to Kendrick.
Oh my god.
Who did the first movie and everything? But yeah, I might see that. I think it was a whole thing with it. It was like brother versus brother death match in here.
And it's like we were talking.
But they're very passionate about it.
Oh, 100%. Like, I mean, I appreciate them, you know, being passionate about it, because I mean, to them, you know, it's huge to them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously they love anything superhero related, so like, be passionate about it. At the end of the day, like with this, I think there was no really perfect way to go about this. I mean, obviously this is a worst case scenario. Like, I mean, a perfect world, Chadwick doesn't have cancer. He lives. He still gets to keep putting out these banger movies left, right, and center, and he gets to continue this franchise and build
something for the culture.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't, you know, we're not a perfect world, perfect society or anything like that. So like, he's not here anymore. So we continue the best way we can, and this is the best way.
It's a good answer.
Yeah. Instead of bringing back Michael B. Jordan's shitty ass, like, you know what? Let's just say that never happened, and just bring him back, and now he's the king. Hell no. I don't want to see Michael B. Jordan in another hero movie, because Michael B. Jordan stinks. We need to talk about that. Michael B. Jordan is terrible. Michael B. Jordan just acts like himself in any movie he's in, and he just gets by because of sex appeal.
It's a fair argument.
Exactly.
Well, next time we're here, we'll do a like an actor, trash talking segment or something.
We had that outside. That one that was the last time.
We did. Yeah.
That was like a 20-minute just knockdown, brawl out, drag out in the parking lot, just talking about how they were. DeAndre and Javante were defending Michael B. Jordan, and I was just throwing that dude in the damn dust because he stinks. Without the muscles and the abs, he would literally be making pizzas at Pizza Hut right now.
Facts. I could see that. All right, I think that's gonna wrap. That's a good way to wrap it up then, by talking about how beautiful Chadwick Boseman is and Black Panther, and then also taking a dump on Michael B. Jordan.
You want to chop it up for a second about Madden 23?
What, excited? I'm excited. It gives me some hope as far as maybe a different Madden, something different at least. So, I'm excited.
Give me your day one quarterback of your ultimate team.
Oh, Joe Burrow. I likes my pocket passers.
Interesting.
I likes my pocket passers and no ability to scramble whatsoever. I will sit in the pocket and take a hit.
Oh no, not the knee.
Hey, the older team, nobody gets hurt. That's how you got to view it. Injuries aren't real in that game.
It's funny you say that, the whole like take a hit thing, because like, you know, Joe Burrow hasn't practiced with them. He's just been rolling around his little scooter at Bengals camp. he makes it look so cool just rolling around being hurt. Like he be rocking his shades, got his hair all swooshed over, got his Bengals drip on. He's just Joe Burrow, man.
Agreed. What about you?
Kyler Murray.
No, of course.
You know,
I shouldn't have asked that. I should have known better.
You should know the answer to that question.
I should have known. But no, I think I'm excited about Madden. I think it's gonna be different than what we've gotten before, hopefully. And maybe I think EA is starting to listen to the fans a little bit.
I mean, there's no way you can put the guy that started the franchise, who just passed away, you can't put him on the cover and the game stink. There's no way.
Facts.
Like this has to be good
doing
for
his
John
name. You're doing his legacy dirty.
Yeah, this has to be good for his namesake.
Agreed. So let's hope Madden 23 is better, and we'll play it together now.
I mean, hey, EA, if you're watching this, hey, why not send 2 free copies? You never know.
I already bought mine.
I mean, I literally pay EA's light bill monthly, so least they could do is send me a free copy.
Maybe when we get big enough one day, that'll be the dream.
You never know. Maybe somebody at Electronic Arts is listening. You never know.
You never know.
Hey, John at EA, free copies. We both have Xboxes, so just send 2 Xbox copies.
Oh, can I wait for Madden next week?
Yep, 6 days.
See, next week. Can I wait? Do not forget, folks, we are still inching closer to 100 likes on our YouTube channel. Once we do that, we will be doing a jersey giveaway, any sport.
No subscribers.
Or subscribers, my fault. I said subscribers on YouTube. Any jersey, any sport, it does not matter. We will ship it to you.
Besides Tua. We don't stand people that like bad quarterbacks.
You have to do that. So please like, subscribe, share it to your friends, share it to your family. Let's get those likes up, and who knows, if we reach 200, we'll do the same thing maybe. So 100 subscribers is all we need on the YouTube. I think it's gonna wrap it up, folks. Next week we'll have the whole crew back. Until then, it is Alec and Makai going home.